Hey, just was overlapping the teams. The coverage units will have to have a big game. I guess they had 9 for 201 last game, and you all gave up 4 for 135 against the Bucks.
Are you talking kickoff returns?
Both.
Both? Got you.
Yeah. You had a punt return get out for 54 and a 35-yarder on the kickoff return.
Yep.
Do y'all have to make any personnel changes, or they just have to play better on coverage?
A combination of both. Each and every week, if you look at how we formulate the 48-man roster on game day, the game day roster, with elevations or inactives, that plays a part into who's going to be up to and where we're going to play guys on special teams when it comes to all 4 phases, whether it's coverage units or return game. Mm-hmm. And then you account for injuries and stuff like that week in and week out. So every week your units are going to look slightly different, and you got to try to match your units with your personnel, who's up for that game, and then get them ready for the game. And then to answer your other question, it's all about execution too. When it comes to that, the punt return versus Tampa you were referring to, we just got to keep leverage on the football. I thought Bradley Pena had a great day punting. He had the 2 inside the 10, and he hit that one, and he put it outside the number. It was great hang time. Just our left side of our coverage has to be more disciplined, do their job, and keep their leverage on the football. Nobody's out there trying to mess up D-Led. It's just being consistent with our discipline, because guys are playing with great effort, but we got to make sure that we're locked in and making sure we keep leverage on the football. And if they do their job, then that ball never gets outside. So we'll be better there.
And what was your assessment of the rookie Miles Pierce on film review?
Oh, Miles Pierce, rookie coming out of Indiana, played at Texas Tech at first. He's fearless with the football, D-Led. He does a great job of catching the ball, and you can see his 4.3 plus speed show up on film because he's running full speed like we talked about before while people are running full speed at him, Will. And it's cool to see that he can run outside returns or he could get vertical with the return. And, that's a huge part of why he made the team. You could hear Coach Daniels from Minnesota talks about how he made an impact in preseason as a returner, and he did a hell of a job in the preseason as a returner. And then he actually also has a play as a cover guy on kickoff where he chased down a returner on like a 60-yard return. You could see his speed show up and come to life. So it's a big challenge this week, and we're excited to go out there and put our best foot forward versus Minnesota and Minneapolis.
He's talking about his inside-outside return ability, like how that stands out on tape. You kind of see how he slaloms through defenders, but then when he does break it outside, how does that stress coverage unit with a player who can do both, maybe start inside and then find a crease and then get outside?
It could put stress on you, but I think at the end of the day, Will, it's about everybody just being disciplined with their leverage and their independent leverage and doing their job. I think, I've heard it from, I think I told you guys before, from an older coach, if somebody loses leverage on the ball, it forces everybody else to exert more energy. So if you're playing that particular leverage and you're keeping that ball on your right shoulder, and then I'm playing on the other side, I'm keeping it on my left shoulder, and all of a sudden that ball gets outside of you, now I got to run even further to go make that tackle. So everybody working together, keeping their leverage on the football while still running at the football. The more vertical penetration with leverage that we have on the football, Will, it's going to create the returner to go east and west and make him go sideline to sideline without getting vertical. So that's a huge challenge for our guys, and those are things that we work all the time, but it's just making sure that each and every play we come to life, because we're guaranteed 0 punt covers each game. We're guaranteed 0. So you could have two really good ones, and then that third one you got to make sure that you're at your very best at every single rep that you do. So that's a huge challenge for us this week, and we're excited to go against them.
Where are things now with the kicking situation?
The kicking situation, Mark. So we're still evaluating. We have another good day of work today. Later on today, Mark will practice. We're still going through the process with our kickers when it comes to who's going to be kicking this weekend, and we'll have we'll make a decision as we go on. It's a collaborative decision between myself, Rod, and Terry as we move forward.
When Parker Romo came in this week earlier, what did you guys like about him?
Leg strength, his accuracy, his experience. I think his poise. He came into a situation last year when he took over for Will Reichert in Minnesota, and he did a great job. I believe he only missed one kick. and he did a great job while he was there playing in you join a team in the middle of the season. That is stress, and that is some type of adversity going there to keep the ball rolling with that team that he was with. So to see him do that, and then his experience, he's been with different teams. He recently was with New England, and he had a really good offseason too and a good training camp with New England. So his leg strength, his experience, I like his attitude, I like his poise. I like that, whether his accuracy as well when it comes to him kicking the ball and his ball contact.
When it comes to when it comes to Koo and just kickers in general,
yes, sir.
It's kind of a unique position, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like quarterback where you're out there on your own in many cases. And for a coach, how do you kind of balance, like, it's not a question of him not working hard, right? Maybe it's a mental question, maybe it's something like that. So as a coach, how do you kind of play almost amateur psychologist and do it in that way as well as a physical way as far as coaching? I
mean, it's a combination of both. It's like there's no easy equation to it. My experience with Koo, I know what makes him tick. I know what motivates him. I know what things that sometimes some of the best coaching is not to overcoach, sometimes. So I know when to coach, when not to overcoach, when to give them words of affirmation, when to be stern with them. It's a case by case with players. I know you talk about positions like quarterback and kicker, but it's all about the player that you're dealing with. So when it comes to those things, and at the end of the day, we just have to be consistent with our technique. That's what it comes down to. No matter what the situation is in game, whether it's end of half or the first PAT of the game, can we be consistent with our approach and our technique and then our contact on the football? Because as a kicker, whatever the case may be, you get judged off makes and misses. And we missed our last one last week, and that's not our standard here in Atlanta.
That is something that Raheem kind of pointed out earlier this week is, because kicking can be technical and nuanced and complicated, he was like, to me, it's black or white. Does it go in or does it not? Is it kind of that black and white to you as the coordinator of the special teams unit, or are there other things you're looking at?
There's other things I look at, but the result when it comes to making field goals is make or miss. We know there's been games where he's made a lot of field goals, but we could go look at the process and the technique, and we weren't happy about it because of the contact of the ball or how the rotation of the ball was. But we're getting judged off makes and misses as a field goal kicker. So we have to be better there. We get those opportunities no matter – you're not guaranteed any opportunities in the game. We played in London a couple years ago. We flew all the way out there, and he had one field goal attempt and was 1 for 1. But then you could go into games and you could have 7 attempts, including PATs. Whatever those opportunities are, there's a direct attempt will to put points on the board. And the expectation is for us to put points on the board.
Coach, how did the tryout go on Tuesday? We saw the list of six people that came in to compete. I guess you had a couple long snappers and a punter too to help y'all get through that mechanically, I guess.
Well, D-Led, every year around this time, our scouting department, give big credit to, Ryan Pace, Terry, and Kyle Smith. We put together a list, just of a short list of guys, just in case something were to ever happen, knock on wood, like an injury or anything, and we could bring a guy in. A couple of years ago, we brought in Pat O'Donnell when Bradley Pinion was dealing with some things. Mm-hmm. Rather than bringing them in, work them out during the game week, and then get them ready for the game, we'll do the workout early, put together our list. If something were to happen to a snapper, we know that we could call this guy up if he's still a free agent, and we could bring him in rather than work him out, then bring him in. So we already had that kind of formatted and operating. We just kind of added onto the list, coming after the game. And we just put together that, and I thought all those guys, all the candidates and all the participants did a really great job. And just so happened we went with the best guy, which was Parker Romo.
And I guess Pinero was on the radio saying he could have came here, but he went to San Francisco. Was he supposed to be in that group to compete, or?
We're always looking to put together a list of guys. When it comes to the participants that come here, we're just looking at the best available on the street when it comes to, who wants to come here and operate and put together their best foot forward. So I told all the guys that were here on Tuesday, thank you so much for the time, because they're sacrificing time from friends, family, loved ones, traveling here to come out and work out. And I'm just happy about the guys that were here, that came and work out, and then we're happy that we have Parker in the building.
And then kind of lost in the shuffle has been Lenny. Nobody's mentioned him as being a part of the competition, and we never asked about it.
I will never say Lenny's lost in the shuffle. because he's growing and developing each and every day, and he's doing a great job of getting better. Obviously, we come out of the camp, Koo won that battle. Koo hit it around 92% during OTAs, training camp, and preseason. All those live reps all together, he was at 92%, which was a lot of reps. But that doesn't lose sight of Lenny's opportunity to get better. And Lenny and I have had conversations. Just because right now you're not the kicker, that doesn't stop you and your opportunity for growth and to get better as an NFL kicker. So I'm excited about his growth and his opportunity, and I know that once his number is called, he's going to put his best foot forward and he's going to shine in those moments.
So he's a developing player that's not ready to.
I mean, everybody's a developing player, D-Light. I would say that everybody's looking to develop, because if you're not looking to develop, then you're going to get passed up. So everybody in our room, all of our specialists, including myself as a coach, we're all looking to develop and get better.
All right. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Now I got to go watch.